and welcome to a Friday edition of Ripping the Rack on the Run podcast.
That's right, folks. We're going to find the Underground Railroad to Canada to escape America.
America, fuck yeah!
Tim, how you doing? You look clear. You got a new camera.
I got a new camera. It shows everything. I feel like I'm 800 feet away though, because if I get too close, it really just
Yeah. No,
you don't want to see this in full HD.
Oh God, not on a Friday morning.
God no.
So Tim,
yeah.
Fun week, huh?
Fun week. Oh, fun, amazing week.
What side you gonna be on? What side you gonna be on the Civil War? Can we be buddies? We be battle buddies?
We're gonna be battle buddies. And we joke and because honestly,
it's the only thing you can do.
If I don't laugh about it or find something to laugh about, I get depressed, I get anxious, I get pissed off.
I was embarrassed to be an American yesterday. It was fucking disgusting, I'll use that language.
It takes a lot to embarrass me. It really does. But yesterday just gave me the what the fuck moment where I'm just like, you have a sitting president encouraging people
to have a coup.
To basically have a coup. And there are people on my Facebook feed and Twitter that have no problem with it.
They're not on mine anymore.
Because in that one person, I don't have a problem with it because that was the Antifa and BLM crowd that were in there. They were dressed up as Trump supporters. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure some were. Don't get me wrong. I am sure there were some Antifa people that were dressed up that were in there.
Oh, there were definitely some people who had it wasn't a political agenda for them. It was, let's cause mayhem because there are sick people in this world.
Yeah.
But 99% of the people in that crowd
were Trump supporters.
Yes.
Were
the same people that said they don't violently protest.
Who have basically drank the Kool-Aid. So I like to think I'm a fairly rational human being.
Me as well.
For the most part. I mean, I cannot can't for the life of me fathom how anyone can look at what happened yesterday and correlate that with, well, the left had no problem with the BLM and Antifa protests when they were looting and burning down cities and everything else. And I'm like, two different things. One, you didn't have a sitting president encouraging you to do that. Now, you also didn't have a sitting president that came out and condemned any of it either. Because there's many, many good people on both sides of that.
Right.
I just, God, I can't. 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks.
They need to do that inside. That does not need to be an outside event. It needs to be heavily secured.
Unless they can somehow invoke the 25th Amendment and...
I never thought I'd want to hear the words President Pence, but Jesus Christ, I don't care.
I'll take President Pence for 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, it was a sad day in America yesterday.
And I want it known right now, and I will go on record. I know we're recording this. It's going to go out on the interwebs. I am not a Joe Biden fan. I do not like the guy. I do not think he has accomplished anything in his 47 years as a career politician. I don't think he's the right guy to be president. But he at least sounds presidential.
He's not the hero we deserve, but he's the hero we need right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
mean, if you're looking for absolute rock bottom, yesterday has to be where the goalpost is. That's got to be where the goal line is.
It was disgusting on all levels, and anyone that thinks for a second that was a good thing to happen is an absolute fucking moron.
Well, I agree 100%, except I agree with what Doc Rivers had said last night in his presser when he's like, sadly, there is some good that will come out of this. people have seen that this is what would have happened. And some changes will be made.
I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the second part of this, and folks, just so you know, we are not spending the whole 30, 40 minutes, whatever we're going to do,
talking about it up here quickly. It's too big to not talk about. It's too big to not talk about.
Correct. What I want to say is there are people in my life, whether it's online life, personal, whatever it is, that I have known for many, many years, that sit back and say, I don't want to live under socialism. I don't want to live under socialism. And I come back with, what the fuck do you think we've been living under for the last 200 years? Define socialism. I will tell you what the definition of socialism is, because it's actually pretty simple. And the true definition, I had to look it up to make sure I was looking at it correctly. It is a political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. The Marxist theory of socialism is a transitional social state between the overthrow of capitalism and the realization of communism. Two distinct, different things. We live under socialism. Anything that you've ever had from the government is socialist. Social Security. Fuck, it's in the name.
Tax returns.
Tax returns. You know, a friend of mine put this, you know, if you've ever accepted and I will credit him right here. His name is Aaron Hamlin. He's a good dude. I've known him 30 plus years. Smart guy, good dude. He said, if you've ever accepted a single penny from the state or federal government or used any government program such as Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, FHA, Fannie Mac, Freddie Mac, student loans, VA benefits, Pell Grants, food stamps, disaster relief, FEMA, federal highway funds, tax rebates, tax credits, visited any national park, state park, national monument, purchased farm products like milk, cheese, corn, green beans, pork, beef, cereal, purchased gas with ethanol, used heating assistance, or got a stimulus check, then your statement is hypocritical that you don't want socialism.
And I find it funny. You used to work in, you know, the heating business. Yeah. And you would probably go to these multi-million-dollar homes with these people who are like, oh, I've made all my money. I don't want to be socialist. And they're putting in mini splits. And what are they getting from the government on that?
Tax credits, federal tax credits, state tax credits.
Yeah.
So
socialism.
I will say this. We have lived under a social democracy for hundreds of years. That is not going to change with what we have. We are not going communist, folks. Like, if yesterday was any indication, could you imagine if this country ever tried to go down a communist route? Because people were like, well, socialism doesn't work. Look at Venezuela. Hello?
No, thank you. I don't even want to go to Venezuela on vacation.
No, but I do want to go outside of Venezuela, which is where Aruba is.
Yes, I am down with that.
I'm down with Aruba. So I'll give you a final thought on yesterday, and then let's move on to fun stuff.
Yeah. My final thought on yesterday was, I have realized that aliens could invade the Earth tomorrow, and half of the country would say no, they're not. Like, I don't want to say I've lost most faith in humanity, but Jesus, and my friend circle is just as big as it was before. But the people that I can look to for rational thought, the circle has gotten smaller.
Yes.
I still love every single person that I consider my friend, and I will still help them out to the best of my ability. But I can tell you there's a few that if I need a rational thought about a political argument or something, I'm staying away from.
And this is why, 30 plus years ago when I was becoming an adult, I remember my mother and my father and my stepfather and everyone always telling me, you never have political discussions at the table.
That's right.
You never discuss. There's things you don't discuss with friends. There's things that you don't discuss. Politics, religion,
and sex.
You don't discuss. And I sat back and went, well, fuck that. I'm discussing sex because I'm a
Well,
dude.
I think the sentiment of that is it holds true.
Yes.
You look back before social media, none of this shit happened because you didn't stop in your friends in the grocery store and say, "Hey, what did you think of the debate last night?" Like you could with a few select friends, I
A few
guess,
select you
but you
might,
just didn't
but
do that. Now you're airing all your political thoughts 24/7 on Facebook for everybody to see.
yeah.
It's
Social
basically a giant dinner table is social media.
social media, I enjoy social media to catch up with friends and their lives and their pictures of their kids and their cats and their dogs and their trips, and that's what I enjoy from social media,
Not their political statements.
not their political statements. Twitter I go on because frankly I find it funny for the most part.
I
I
use
enjoy
Twitter
it.
a lot. I love Twitter. I use it a lot for the shows I'm on. This one, the Dudes and Belts podcast.
Yeah,
I've interacted with 3 or 4 professional, like true professional wrestlers, like Al Snow. I've had interactions with Al Snow on Twitter. I
yep,
had interactions with Thunder Rosa on Twitter. Social media can be an amazing tool.
yes.
They need to make a separate Twitter and call it Twitter Po. And that's where you go over and you can talk politics.
Well, they have that for Facebook. It's called Parlor, and I have not gone over to Parlor.
Let me tell you a funny thing about Parler, and this is where I'll end. You know all these QAnon theorists that say the government is tracking you
Yeah,
with microchips in the vaccines and don't do this and mind you, they're coming from their cell phone. This is the kicker for me. You have to scan a copy of your ID or passport to get onto Parler.
do you really?
Yes.
I love it.
But they're tracking you with the microchips in the vaccine.
Yeah, yeah. Not with this. God, no, not with this.
Okay, fun
Oh,
stuff though.
fun
Fun stuff.
stuff, fun stuff. So, this is my book I'm reading. It's called
Ooh,
The
is it a
Boob.
picture book?
It's a boob book.
Is it a
It
picture
is.
book? You
I'm
probably can't show them. I don't know if you could show them where we put this on YouTube.
well. I can show because it's not. It's they're drawn
Oh,
pictures.
they're drawn pictures.
They're not real.
So is it like haikus about boobs?
It says this book is a celebration of our bosom buddies, our memory mamas, our breasts and arms. Throughout the illustrated collection of boobs, you'll find tips for living your breast life, a boob personality test, a celebration of nipples, and more boobs.
Free the nipple.
From small and mighty to large and in charge to long, short, hairy, bumpy, or any boobs in between, this book uplifts them all. Um, it's actually we bought it at the Mangy Moose in Freeport. Great store, by the way, if you've never been. Fun store. A lot of cool little things in there. Very Maine oriented. But they have some fun little things. And I saw the book and I picked it up and just started looking. And Angie looked at me and she goes, just buy it.
She made you happy.
And I'm
Like
like, all right. I was like, I wasn't going to buy it. I'm like, all
that's
right.
awesome.
And I've looked at it. I've read a couple of things on it. It's funny as hell. Like it goes through them all. So
That's awesome.
boobs. Just saying, boobs.
It's a part of the Ripping the Rack book club.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that's what we can do. A once a month Ripping the Rack book club. Now, Brian's favorite book, Six Rings.
It's a great fictional story.
The Super Bowl history of the New England Patriots so far by Jerry Thornton.
And it's missing an asterisk.
No asterisk needed.
Spygate, Deflategate.
Every NFL team has gone through a cheating scandal. And matter of fact, in the history of cheating, the New England Patriots, honestly, on that list, they're like 15th or 16th on the list. It's actually pretty neat. I can't remember where it was.
The problem I have is not that they cheated. No, it's the same problem. It's the same level. No, it's Andy Pettit. You know why I don't care about Andy Pettit taking HGH? Because he came out and said, yeah, I did it. I did it to get healthy, but I did it. Yep. Tom Brady destroyed a cell phone.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
The NFL he could have just said, all he had to say was, do I like Do I like the pressure of the ball on the lower end, and when it gets cold, it can decrease? Yes. That's all he had to say.
It's science.
That's all he had to say. But to come flat out say, I didn't do it, and then destroy your cell phone? Come on, Bubba.
Yeah. Of course they did. They all did. Yes, they video recorded. As Jimmy Johnson came out and said, he goes, we absolutely recorded. We just never got caught.
That's right.
So,
but he admitted it.
I have absolutely zero problem. And it's like with the whole baseball stealing signs things.
We used to steal signs in Little League.
I have no problem with a team trying to steal signs. Zero problem with it. I have a problem when they use technology to do it. Or that's my problem. You know, if you got a guy at second base and he can pick out the signs that the catcher's doing, and he can lift a leg or somehow relay that to the player.
If you see a guy on second and he keeps, like, every time he takes his lead and he keeps going to his helmet, you need to look at the catcher's hands, because half the time that's a fastball cue. No one fixes their hat that much, or their batting helmet.
I don't have a problem with that in Major League Baseball. I have a problem with the Red Sox using the Apple Watches, with Houston doing their fucked up thing of
the trash cans,
and I will go on record. I do believe Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa had some type of electrical.
Oh yeah, for real.
Absolutely.
There's video evidence when he hits the walk off. Altuve coming around third, going, "Don't rip my jersey."
Yeah, I will. The worst thing that Major League Baseball did was come out and
sweep that under the rug.
You guys have immunity. They never should have had immunity.
No,
because it just
I don't have a single thing wrong with what Joe Kelly did to them either. By the way,
no, neither do I.
Every one of them should have got plunked once a game.
Oh, the worst part is once fans come back,
the boos are going to be incredible.
Oh God, I can't wait for fans to come back.
Corona was a blessing for Jose Altuve this year, because I don't know mentally if that man would have made it through a season of 162 games where every stadium except his booed him out of the building.
And it's amazing that some of these guys, their batting averages just all of a sudden went way down.
Well, it's amazing, when the whole Mark McGwire-Andros scandal came out, all of a sudden Brady Anderson, who'd hit 50-something home runs the year before, hit 10.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, dude, don't do it all at once, buddy.
Would he go 12 the year before he hit 50? Something like that?
He had hit a total of like 82 home runs up until, in like 5 years, up until he had hit 50.
And then he hits 50.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing was, honestly, I have no problem with Barry Bonds doing steroids. I don't have a problem with those guys doing steroids.
Because everybody was.
Number one, everybody was. Number two, it wasn't banned in Major League Baseball. That's how ass backwards Major League Baseball is they did not ban HGH and steroids. So yes, the guys took it. Yes, it was illegal in the United States, but it wasn't banned in Major League Baseball.
Right. And so, Andro was not banned when Mark McGwire took it.
No.
Andrew was a perfectly legal health. They called it a health supplement.
Yep.
And they actually had it on a supplements list they used to give players who wanted to get bigger.
And I believe that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame.
100%. They were 100%. They were Hall of Famers before the steroid shit.
Yep. Barry Bonds is one of the all-time best hitters to ever play the game. I would argue, I would put him behind, I would have it go Ted Williams, in my eyes, is the best pure hitter in the game of Major League Baseball. He hit for average, he hit for power. Hitter.
Yeah.
I would put Barry Bonds right behind him.
And I would put Mickey Mantle right behind them, because I think Mickey Mantle was the best pure power hitter ever in baseball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tough to argue against Hank Aaron.
Yeah, but I just think even Hank Aaron had a little more technology, like bat-wise and compression-wise, than Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
And the thing that had they raised the mound when Mantle was there, or because I know they raised it at some point. Hank, okay,
it was raised in the 20s or 30s, something like that, somewhere in that.
Could you imagine trying to hit off Randy Johnson off a flat mound and he's
No.
throwing just flat at you? Because I mean,
No.
it coming downhill, yeah, it increases velocity a little bit. It makes it easier to see.
Yeah. I just, I believe our Hall of Fames, baseball, basketball, but your major Hall of Fames,
I hate the Baseball Hall of Fame process.
they are museums.
Yeah,
That's what they are.
they're an opinion museum.
They are museums, and because of that, you need to include all facets of the game, from the steroid era, from the dead ball era,
Mm-hmm.
from your 60s and 70s, your amphetamine era.
The greenies and cocaine.
It just,
Your beer and hot dogs era,
Yeah.
Ruth.
yeah. Keeping Bonds and Clemens out, to me, is wrong. I think they should be in because you don't have to like the personality.
Ty Cobb was a racist and a bigot, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
I hate the personality clause that they have for your baseball writers of America, your association. There is a clause in there that integrity of the game, blah blah blah, has to be included.
It shouldn't.
Curt Schilling, I hate him on as a mouthpiece. You cannot deny he was one of the best postseason pitchers of all time.
Correct.
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's first ballot, but he deserves
to be in.
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame based on his totality of his career. But you got people that are keeping him out because they don't agree with his politics. I disagree with that 100%.
I do too, because you got, as I said, guys like Ty Cobb in there, and
you have
Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, from what I hear, for all accounts, is kind of a piece of crap. Me personally, like, I've just read stories where they're like, he's rude to fans, he doesn't do autographs. If he does, he asks for like $100.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's funny is Angie and I were in Vegas a couple of years ago. Actually, we took Jordan his first trip out to Vegas. I think it was 3 years ago, and Emmitt Smith was doing a signing. I think I snapped you the picture.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. It was $200 to get an autograph from Emmitt Smith
and have your picture taken with him. And here's the thing. I don't mind that. Like, that's like a show. It's a memorabilia thing. Like, kind of what you're getting into. There's a cost association with it.
$50, I would have thought about it.
Yeah, but it's just the random. If you're up there randomly, just say no.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's I don't know. It's funny to me that you look at these Hall of Fames like that, and that's kind of what you're up against with some of these. And I only say that because your Baseball Hall of Fame is coming out. The votes are coming in.
Yeah. And I think there's a few guys on that list that need to be in. I think Andy Pettitte should get in this year. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher in my eyes. There's a couple. I mean, we went over it one Friday early on, the list and our thoughts. And
yeah. I just I find it interesting that's coming out now. So,
hockey starts soon.
Yay! Hockey! Yay!
Hey, the one positive about the USA this week is we did beat Canada in the junior finals.
Yes.
Sorry, Canadian friends.
Oh, I'm not apologizing for that.
That's karma for the 14 to nothing whooping they put on Germany in the first round.
Yeah. That was a surprise. I know that Canada was heavily favored in that game.
Yep.
But karma, United States, we're number one. We're number one.
No, we're not. We're number one in a lot of things, but it's not good categories.
No, but we are in junior hockey.
Yeah, but it just my piece on that real quick. There's no need in a junior, even in the World Juniors, to score 14 goals on somebody. Just pass the puck around at some point. Like, stop shooting.
No,
Pull your goalie.
I
Like,
disagree 150% with that, and I'll tell you why. You are at that point rubbing it in if all you're doing is just passing the puck around and not shooting it. Now, that's not akin to taking a knee in football because you always take a knee at the end of the game in football if you're up. That's the victory formation.
all right.
That's the final minute, 2 minutes of the game when you can run the clock out.
If you have no timeouts against you, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with that, with what you're saying from, to me,
And I see both sides.
You keep playing the game. It's no different, to me, it's no different than high school basketball. And because when I coached, we were on both ends. We've been blown out and we blew out people. The only difference in a blowout, I'm not going to, like, if we're blowing out a team, we're not going to press. We may be a pressing team. I'm going to press in the first half of the game. I'm not going to press in the second half. But I'm not going to stop shooting. I'm not going to stop playing. You still have to try to stop me. And I've had that thing with coaches where, I've seen it on the high school level where you see coaches talk at like halftime or something. And basically what they're saying is, the losing coach typically knows that they're not as good. They know that they're going to get blown out. They will come, and I've seen it say, look, coach, don't stop what you're doing. It's good for my team to try to practice to get through this. It's good for your team to use this practice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of what it was. That's why you'd see some of these scores, when Camden was on their run and they were undefeated. They had Tyler McFarland. They had a whole bunch of big kids that were fast. They could shoot. They didn't press in the second half, but they didn't stop playing.
I see both sides.
They still shot the ball. They still fast break. They still did this. The difference is, it's like Jeff Hart would say is, I may want 3 or 4 passes before you shoot.
The difference also is you're in a high school gymnasium in your hometown.
Yeah.
You're not on national TV that's recorded for posterity of you getting your ass handed to you.
Well, get better.
I agree.
It's at a different level. I mean,
it
playing
is.
at the national level like that is a different level, and I shouldn't equate it to high school, even though they're the same ages. They're under 20, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not quite sure, 100%.
Yeah. But halves suck, so that's really all.
Yeah,
that's really all that matters. But
the Bruins, I don't know if the Bruins will be any better this year.
They're going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, they'll make playoffs.
Well, I don't even know about that. You see that division they're in?
Yeah, hey, we don't play Montreal this year, do we?
It sucks. No Montreal.
I don't like this alignment. I understand. Is this COVID temporary, or is this
It is COVID temporary. It is strictly because Canada will
trying to be bubbles. Yeah.
Yeah, Canada won't allow American teams to come up and play without.
For good reason.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is they won't allow them to come up unless you quarantine for 2 weeks. Well, you can't do that in the season.
With proper scheduling, you could.
No, because you can't even play. You have to quarantine.
Oh, that's true. Well, All-Star break.
All-Star break's 3 days.
No, you make it 2 weeks. You have your American teams go up. They quarantine for 2 weeks over the All-Star game. You have your Canadian All-Star game.
But you can't even practice. You can't leave the hotel.
No. Yeah, it's just a 2 week have fun. You watch film and you make cookies and you eat and you watch movies. It's a slumber party for 2 weeks. Those guys need a vacation.
All right. Fair enough.
And their wives wouldn't care because for once they know they're in the hotel room.
That is true. That is true. So you've got your Canadian teams are one division, but you've got the Bruins are in a division with Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Rangers, Islanders.
Is Washington in our division?
Capitals.
So it's kind of DC to about Philly,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that kind of northeast.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of players that are a lot of teams that would be considered playoff teams if you had your normal divisions.
This has an interesting social connotation too, because you could see how many games in each conference get canceled because of COVID.
Yep. The other thing that I actually find interesting is the scheduling. So like the Bruins play, and I forget the schedule, but it goes like Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Islanders, Islanders, Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Washington, Washington. So they're playing them back-to-back games.
Yeah.
But they're playing them like you play the Flyers something like 6 times in 2 weeks. You want to talk about hating each other at the end of this?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. It's gonna be. You know what though? It's gonna. You know, it's gonna feel like bowling league when you only have 6 teams. Every 5 weeks you're bowling the same team.
These guys are gonna fight. I love hockey.
Marchand's gonna have so many new enemies.
Marchand is now. They did say for the last year and a half he was playing at 80% because of injuries, and now he's had time to heal. Pasternak's going to be back. You know, let's face it, the Bruins were the best team in hockey last year in the regular season.
Until COVID. Yeah.
I don't think you'll see that level of play.
They were playing above potential before COVID.
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Bergeron is probably going to be your captain. I think he deserves it. You know, I think you see Pasternak hopefully continue his breakout that he had. I would like to see Marchand continue riding the line. Again, I like him on the line. I don't want him going over on this side.
Not licking people.
I don't want him licking
Especially
people.
now.
No, keep your tongue to yourself. But I like Marchand when he's riding that line. He's that type of player that, man, you love him on your team.
Right, but you hate playing against him.
Hate playing against him. And I love it. I'm a Marchand fan. I think he's a great hockey player. I think he rides the line just like you need him to do.
He's a goon, but he can score.
He's a small goon, though. That's the thing.
He's a little ball of hate. He's
not Ty Domi goon, goon.
No, but Ty Domi was a once-in-a-lifetime player in that aspect of hockey.
Oh, my God. They need to, you know what? I hate that they got rid of real fighting like that. Because you see more cheap shots now on the ice because you took away the ability to police. That was the thing with hockey. That was one of the things I really enjoyed about hockey is they policed themselves for the most part, and I miss that because you don't.
Are they even going to allow fighting this year with COVID?
Oh, I don't see how you can.
They would take away so much. I mean, the fans already. Playoff hockey wasn't the same last year with no fans.
No.
I've been watching more soccer, Tim.
Have you?
Soccer's cool. It's kind of cool. I'm starting to like it.
It grows on you.
It's very. I like the crowd. I like the atmosphere of soccer.
What you need to do is go on YouTube, and I think it's Liverpool that does. Well, they all do something similar, but Liverpool sings like.
Yeah,
they're walking on the pitch. They sing like you'll never walk alone, something like that.
Yeah,
and it's like 50,000 people, and you're just like chills. Like, oh my God.
There's a lot. I didn't realize how big soccer stadiums are. They're huge.
Oh yeah, yeah. The big now. Granted, you're talking your Man U, your Man City,
right?
Liverpool, Tottenham. I mean, your Champions League type or your Premier League type teams, even Champion League, UEFA. Your Barcelona, your Madrids,
Paris,
AC Milan. I mean, your German. They're huge. It's huge. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah.
And I really think for MLS to take off, they need to do more soccer stadiums like Portland built and Seattle built. And
Yeah.
some of these
Soccer's bigger on the West Coast, from what I
yeah,
understand here in
yeah.
the States.
You never know. Like the Revolution, they went deep into the playoffs this past year.
I bet they don't fill Gillette.
Oh
Or
God,
do
no,
they?
no, not even close. The games that I went to, they averaged maybe 10,000 fans. That's why
Yeah.
they really need a soccer specific stadium that holds like 15 to 20,000
Yeah. And more of a bowl shape.
and
Because
more
that's
of a
kind of,
bowl.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But soccer is fun to go to. Like you go to an MLS game. It's fun. There's
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think I would enjoy going to a pro soccer game more than a pro football game. I don't know. I don't see what going to a pro football game is really fun about. Like, number one, you freeze your ass off if you go to a playoff game. You're more than likely, unless you are gifted amazing tickets or you decided to spend a lot of money, you are sitting in shitty seats, drinking expensive beer, eating expensive food, and your view is much better from your couch.
yes.
I just, and I
I
love football.
I
But
love football. I love watching football from the comfort of my own home.
yeah,
I've been to enough pro games. I have no urge to fight the traffic and to Foxborough. I don't you know people get there 3 hours before and they're tailgating. Cool, yeah, great. It's a party.
yeah.
Okay, but
I've been to enough tailgate parties in college,
that means I got to get up and leave the house at 6 a.m. This is
and not
for
get
what?
back until maybe
This is
6 a.m. the
for
next day.
this is a 1 o'clock. Let's say it's a 1 o'clock game at Gillette. I leave the house at 6 a.m. I'm down there.
9:30.
Oh no, it's 4 hours, 4 to 4.5 hours to Gillette. Okay, you throw in the traffic, you're getting there around 11 now. When you throw in your stops, your traffic, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay, great. I'm already tired. I've already driven 4 hours, 4.5 hours, sat in traffic coming off from 95 or 495 to the Route 1 corridor to Gillette. I've now paid X amount to park.
70 probably.
I now have to walk, depending on the parking lot you're in, I'm either walking a mile or half a mile, or some you can get pretty close to the stadium. Call it a 10-minute walk. Okay. Get into the stadium, and now you're
Go through security.
go through security. You're 70,000 people for 10 seconds of action and then 30 seconds of sitting around. 10 seconds of action, 30 seconds to sit around. 10 seconds. Oh, shit. Now we got a review. Now we got 2.5 minutes.
And guess what? If you have to go pee, you're waiting 25 minutes.
Oh, my God. So now the game's over. It's now 4:30. Walking out. You now have an hour and a half to 2 hours to get out of the parking lot to get to 95 or 495. So now it's 6:30. Call it. Now I'm not home until 10:30, 11 o'clock at the earliest because I'm doing it without stopping.
Yeah, because you need some sleep.
Okay. Now,
When you get home.
let's say you got to stop a couple of times. Now you're not home until midnight. I've already left the house at 6 a.m. and now I'm not getting home until midnight.
18 hours.
18 hours, and I got to get up and go to work on Monday morning
Or burn a vacation day.
or burn a vacation day
Yeah.
or come in late. Something.
Right.
So I don't know.
I hear you. I hear you. It's not my cup of tea.
No.
I'm a big sports fan.
All right. Well, we went a little over what we were going to.
Hey, you know what? It happens.
It does.
I hope
So,
everyone has a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Don't be a dinglebat. Don't be what we saw the other day.
Don't be
violent. Let's just try and heal from this shit.
Yep.
And everyone have a good day and a good
Yep.
weekend.
As usual, folks, you can reach Brian and I at rippingtherackpodcast@gmail.com. You can reach us on Facebook at Ripping the Rack Podcast, Twitter at Ripping the Rack Podcast, and then you can view us. Where, Brian? Where can they view us?
View us on you. Oh, you can view us and hear us. View us on YouTube. You can hear us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Breaker, and wherever else that you consume your podcast media, you crazy cats.
You crazy cats, you guys, stay safe. Don't know if we have a special guest this weekend or not for our Tuesday edition of Ripping the Rack podcast. We'll keep working on it. If not, you'll get to hear our lovely voices and see our lovely faces Tuesday morning.
All right, folks. Peace.
Take care. Peace.